Hana, Dul. See, I know Korea, guys. I'm so afraid, honestly, making this video. I feel genuine uncertainty, genuine fear of failing for once in a long time, because I have never listened to K-pop, guys. This is my first ever truly K-pop reaction. Not just this back here, BLACKPINK, but I never listened to K-pop. But I have a massive history with Korea, with South Korea. I've been a Taekwondo black belt for like 20 years. I've been in Seoul and so on. So it feels super weird that I never got into the K-pop trend. It started when I was older. So if I try it out here now, but I'm genuinely feeling anxiety. I'm like, oh my god. But I was asked, so in my latest tour video, I was asked by Nanime to do BLACKPINK Kill This Love, right? And I was like, oh, it's time, man. I've been thinking for years, guys, to try and look at K-pop, reaction views or whatever, right? Because I love the visuals of South Korea, you know? And for example, I really love Stellar Blade. Like, I really love the music Stellar Blade. Like, I really love the music Stellar Blade. Like, it was the best of the year. So I heard, you know, Korean music, right? Like being in South Korea and so, right? But I never, well, okay, fine, I heard like Gangnam Style, of course, because it was so popular. But no other song really, so I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna do it here. But I'll show you one thing very brief here. So I put on my best suit, right? But actually, I went and found my first Taekwondo pants, yeah. My Taekwondo pants, my Taekwondo, you know, form. So I started Taekwondo as a young kid, right? Learned to count, you know, Hana, Dul, Set and so on, right? Yeah, learned all the numbers. And I got this, guys. Taekwondo, because my favorite characters growing up in fighting games was actually Yun-seong, right, from Soul Calibur, and so I got this sword, right, to train particularly on that kind of martial. This is still the same first Dao sword I had, but I have several one now then, but this is my oldest one. You can see kind of broken in the bottom here and so on. I had it for like 30 years now. So this feels weird to me that I have, and of course I played Starcraft. I was one of the highest, you know, ranked Starcraft players. My best friend, he taught us Korean, so we could watch Starcraft 2 games. We also went to play Starcraft. I have a lot of friends that have lived in Korea to play Starcraft, actually, so because I'm friends with some of the best players in the world, Starcraft, blah blah. So it feels weird that I never get K-pop. So let's go into it. I probably get addicted, right? Let's go into it. But I just wanna okay, let's go. I mean, genuinely, this is like a visual masterpiece, right? And I'm gonna be this guy. If you're new to my channel, guys, I used to be creative director, right? You know, in most of the video games. Because see, I like a lot of flashy stuff, right? Like I love your Ichi so right? I love cool swords, you know, with colors on them, right? So I do. So genuinely, I'm just like, oh my effing god, when I see all the colors, right? Like this video. It's gonna be a long video now, guys, because my favorite hobby, right, is going over anime openings. If you could tell, I like anime, right? I love doing anime openings, and also, of course, whatever, but like going over the visuals, right? And immediately when I watch this opening, sorry, this music video, first time, I was like, oh my god, there's so much happening. There's so much visuals. The budget, it has to be, of course, incredible. but there's so much thing happening, and this is what I expected honestly, right? Because, like I said, otherwise, in the music, I feel kind of ingrained somewhat in like Korean culture, right? To some extent. So I'm just like, yeah, this is so visual. There's so much stuff happening here. And leave a comment below, how do you want me to make videos? Because I could go back now and we can sit there for like 10 minutes and talk about every scene. But I think we're gonna just, keep going with a bit. But I just give it the first impression here. But it's like, here, right, obviously the black and white swan, the sorting, so much is happening. So we talk about it at length, of course, after the video. But yeah, I feel like I'm mind blown, and it feels like one of these music videos where I can watch like 10 times, right, and I can find something new every time. So that for me immediately, and like you don't even, but not even like ignoring the actual music for a moment. You're just thinking about, okay, yeah, Jesus Christ, man, as a music video, it's incredible, right? I think I'm halfway through now, but that's just crazy to me how much is happening. It's so much like happening. It's I can see what people used to watch this over and over again. Oh, this in here is so great, man. This in here, especially the Kpop festival so far. Oh, that's just amazing. Yeah, up and down and so on. Yeah, it's so good. We'll talk about more in the part afterwards. but yeah, I mean, it's like, man, yeah, it's so much happening. Incredible. One thing I also remember now when I was watching Dive in the car was I actually really liked Good Boy. It was one of my favorite shows last year, right? Korean cop drama, I guess. That's the thing about it, because I also watched like a lot of Korean movies for like 20 years now, at least, yeah. Like I do watch a lot of like Korean TV shows. Good Boy was my favorite the last year. I really like Good Boy. The ending was a little bit, the last 2-3 episodes it was a little bit bad pace there. But the first like 10 or so was amazing. That was one of my favorite shows last year, easily. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. But let's keep going. But that's what I mean, there's so much happening every second. It's an incredible video. I love the outfits. Oh, I love the outfits. Whew, that was incredible. Especially, as I'm saying that, maybe someone angered me, but especially from a visual standpoint, it was just incredible. Like, I just did a reaction to Ocean or Koi, right? I love idol shows. And yesterday I did Super Beaver then. This is actually my favorite new song from Japan, it's just, Super Beaver, Sansen. Incredible good song. But anyway, let's go back to, I'm gonna start breaking down the visuals, right? Okay, that's the way I will approach it from the beginning here. Well, I'll say one thing first, I suppose. I'm surprised how much English it was, right? Maybe just this particular course on English based, because it's more to this group, I guess. But yeah, I was surprised, honestly, how much English lyric it was. Good chorus, though. Yeah, catchy chorus. But yeah, an English chorus. And it does remind me, I mean, you have to excuse me, but I'm obviously going to compare it to some Japanese stuff I heard, right? Japanese idol girls, whatever, which I love, It certainly is a theme in Japanese J-pop as well, that you have, a lot of English word being thrown in there. It's very, very common. in Japanese pop, that you have like, you know, them singing Japanese, then they're throwing in 1 or 2 English phrases like love or something. Yeah. So they're maybe sitting here. I mean, you know, absolutely first time I ever hearing K-pop, right? So I'm imagining there could be a similar thing that they sing in Korean, and it's like 1 or 2 like words, like well recognizable like English terms would be thrown in there. That wouldn't surprise me, because when you are in Seoul, it is kind of similar for the stores there, right? If you go on the street, you might see different brands and stuff, right, that have like, you know, English names, right? Like Lotte, right, chocolate company in Korea, right? That they call it chocolate, but also that might be because I guess you probably didn't have chocolate historically in East Asia. Chocolate comes from America, right? So it's probably a loan word to begin with. But I digress. But yeah, point is like it's a lot of English terms you see on the street or so when we walk around in Korea. But let's go back. First of all, it's like an organ, I guess. Yeah, behind it, right? Yeah. Yeah, the trumpets. I do love these glasses though. Man, I love bling bling, man. I love it. I need to buy one of these glasses. Oh. Now I got sad here because when like a few years ago, first time I visited NASA, I bought some glasses in the store there. Yeah, like because NASA kind of invented, you know, like the modern anti-sun glasses for their astronauts. So I bought one of those, like a really expensive, bad, but they broke. They broke last month. I missed those glasses so bad. Anyway, that kind of tiara and so on. But I mean, immediately, from a visual standpoint, so much thing is happening. And I do like that they're changing outfits like every goddamn scene, right? Like they're changing their frames, they're dressing up. And I think that, you know, I've been doing this for a while now, right? You know, because I love doing, like I said, music reactions, especially to anime openings, but also bands, right? And I'm a very visual guy, so man, because I'm starting with the visuals, but you know, sorry, some people hate when I do this thing, I know, but I must keep saying it. I'm a visual guy. I used to work with, you know, like an art director or someone, right? So of course that's what I'm focused on, right? And I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed it, right? Because I am good at something, right? Some other people do reaction. They're much better at music than I am. I can play the piano, right? But they can play, you know what I mean? So I'm more like, this is what I'm, so whatever, I digress. But what I like here a lot too, immediately, it's just the effort, right? It's just the effort. It's gonna take you so long time. I can just imagine making this kind of video, directing it, and the band members should have to go and like change outfit. They'd have to run and change outfit. Yeah, it's like 40 different outfits, right? Just that alone. It isn't just the set pieces are changing. It isn't just the background changing, right? But yeah, it has to take so much time just doing this stuff, right? So that's really incredible. But anyway, so the first reference is obviously the black swan, white swan thing. Yeah, she's standing on the swans there, right? This is of course a classic play. You know, this is a classic like opera thing, right? And I guess we had kind of trumpet organ in the beginning, so it kind of fitted that, right? And then otherwise, the Black Swan is this famous concept, right? This book in economy and so on, because a black swan doesn't exist, right? So it's like the whole Black Swan thing. And you can see it, for example, in the anime Dance Danseur, when they have this, like the Black Prince and the White Prince and so on, right? And they're dancing and ballet and so on. So it's like a classic concept, right? But yeah, she's office there again, and she has like this kind of old school, looks like pilgrims in America, right? With this kind of thing here. It's a really interesting outfit because yeah, this thing here I would see as something quite old-fashioned, right? But obviously she has like shorts on her, so it's a contrast. It's an interesting contrast. This thing, right, with like short pants or whatever, not extremely short, but you know, yeah, it's an interesting contrast, definitely. But maybe that's the point then, with like the black and white swan and so on. And obviously they're creating a heart here, right, with their heads here. I mean, obviously, it's kind of clear. No, good. I love this immediately though, but I love this. oh, I love this. She comes in here immediately. And she start, yeah, oh, it looks beautiful. And it's like this, what's it called? Cereal, yeah, like breakfast cereal or whatever, right? But I love the colors, very galley. Yeah, throwing it. No, but this scene is great. This scene is great. I love it. Oh, this is awesome. Look at that. The bit is probably my favorite bit. This visual is great, right? So, who doesn't like this thing, right? Like a clear, full sun. You have, you know, like the reflection. This thing looks great. Looks like black petals and that. And then, of course, you have this like explosion around her. Yeah, this thing looks fantastic. This looks really, really fantastic. I wonder how they did this thing. I wonder how they like directed this thing. I guess she probably had it on her head, right? And that is probably like natural water. It probably isn't like a CGI effect. So you probably would have your head next to maybe like a pool or something. Like, I imagine you put this in your head, right? And then you're sitting next to a pool maybe. And you turn off the light or whatever, right? You have one light source behind her, and her head is like close to the pool, and you can record that maybe. It's really, really well done. It's like it looks fantastic. I also like how this thing, I guess like gives me like a coral fit to it, maybe like a butterfly, but it feels like a coral reef here, right? And I like how it's not symmetric. I like it when it's beautiful asymmetric, right? It looks kind of random. Of course, someone has thought about it, but it looks kind of random how it's done, right? It's not the exact same, you know, form of it on the sideline. So that's really interesting. That makes it look even better. Normally, we can cut it in the middle, right? You have the same thing, so that's really great. I guess so. She's singing. It does feel like it's like a cut here, right? So I'm guessing she's next to like a pool. The pool is suspended in the, you know, higher up, probably. Maybe you just have water around the bridge, right? Yeah, this was the scene earlier then that I talked about Good Boy, right? Because Good Boy starts with that car. It's come back to me in my head. I don't want to spoil it, but it's the first episode in Good Boy starts with him getting into an issue with the main character with like a guy in a car, which is the main bad guy later. So that's like kind of off to my head there. Slow. Here goes the chorus. But as I meant earlier, from a musical standpoint, it certainly feels like, at least as I said earlier, it reminds me of Japanese pop as well, right? How you have the singers tend to do the same thing, where you're singing on, you know, the native language in these different, how to say it, subparts, or like not the main chorus or the main rhythm thing, right? And then we get into this thing, and now it's like bam, then that is English in this case then. But I think it tends to be more that I'm just guessing, but I'm guessing that K-pop has similarities because you see the same thing. I'm from Sweden, right? You see the same thing in Swedish music too, where they might sing on Swedish, and then they have the main, like this is the main part of the song in English. That being said, though, in most actual musicians in Sweden, you sing on English for that matter. Yeah, they use the pure English, right? That's a very common thing in Sweden. Same thing in Norway, you sing on English. But also for that matter, side note, America, USA is very big in Norway. They really love America, they're country speaking, so from the 80s and forward, so it's probably the reason why. But anyway, this looks like Lara Croft, right? Tomb Raider. So I'm thinking of. Like, I'm wondering if this is supposed to be lightning. This feels like, this here looks a lot like, a lot of reference, but to me it looks a lot like Lara Croft, right? With the pants on. This here looks like lightning. Which, if it is, that would be awesome to me, because that's like my favorite character I'll show you guys. To be fair. Maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see, because I love lightning. I have a poster of her over there in that corner of the room here. A huge poster of her, right? Like same artist. So I love lightning. She's the coolest character fantasy. Freaking awesome character. Badass, you know, female warrior lady. But I do think they're similar, right? I do think they're similar, because she has kind of similar, not exactly the same color scheme, but, you know, how they kind of, the jacket cuts here, nothing has that in some of the games. Her hair is kind of similar. I do feel this looks a lot like lightning. Am I a secret piece here? Like, this is the first time I've ever seen, you know, BLACKPINK, right? But she looks a lot like lightning. I was about saying that. And obviously next to her, she's like Lara Croft, right? That's like Tomb Raider. So I'm just thinking, like, you know, video game reference here. I mean, I'm just throwing it out. Like, you know, again, obviously it's my first time I've seen the band, so I don't know if they do gaming references, whatever, pop culture references, but it certainly to me looks like lightning. Okay, that's what I'm throwing out there. 100. It looks very similar to lightning. It kind of looks like Black Widow as well, but yeah, that looks a lot like a lot. Yeah. But also it's a sassy outfit also. Just it's love. Let's kill it love. I do love her like makeup there. The kind of slit cutting where you get like an eye back a little bit. Yeah, I love that. That's great, man. Yeah, that is all awesome. This is really. This is like this is a visual. Oh, I see a heart now. I didn't think about it. This I meant earlier. This is awesome because she also has a heart in in her hair. I know what that's called in English because mittbena in Swedish. Actually, I don't know what it's called at all. What it's called? Like if you heard that, I don't know. But it's called mittbena. That's only. That's the only word I know for it. Okay, I speak 11 languages. English is not one of them. But yeah, mittbena means like a middle bone or something. Yeah, it's like a middle part. Bena. It's a weird word. Or whatever. Heart there. That's a really cool detail. I love this cut there. But yeah, they're just outfits, right? Incredible this video. Now they're like a store, I guess. Oh, I like this frills too. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, you can't barely see them, but that's a really cool skirt, though. That's like a really cool skirt. If I was a woman, I'd definitely wear that skirt like that. This is an amazing skirt, yeah. You can barely see it, but it's an amazing skirt. Nice face. Like you. Oh, it's a folklore, of course. Not thinking about it, of course. I keep saying it. This is an incredible music video. So much things is happening, and every time I watch it, I see something new. Yeah, of course, it's holding a folklore, right? That is now. Yeah. Yeah, not like a shirt or something. But it really is. Yeah, like, I love this video so much. It's so crazy. It really is blowing my mind, man. It's just like I'm laughing, but it really is like something new happens every second, man. You're like, oh my god, it's so addictive. It's so addictive, man. Like I knew I was gonna watch like K-pop, and then I can't stop doing it. Now my life is over, man. It's so addictive, especially for someone like me, I think. That really likes visual design and I like fashion as well. I watched every season of like Top Model and Ink Masters, and I love those kind of shows. Yeah, I love this stuff. I like the art stuff. That's why I love Bleach, so much, because Tite was the best Japanese fashion. Yeah? I would say that he's the best fashion designer in Japan, but it's like, it's awesome. It's something that was happening. It's so much. It's just, the obvious kind of church just shooting her with, and this made me laugh a little earlier. Yeah, like this is like, they're standing in a giant bear trap for some reason. They're singing about let's kill this love, I guess. So it's kind of like, I guess they're meaning you should kill it with this bear trap. You walk into it and you're dead or something. It's again a very interesting visuals. They're standing on this. The platform is the actual spring, or whatever it's called, in the bear traps. If you stick your foot in this thing, right, then it closes. Now, obviously, this is so kind of 3D. On green screen, of course. Then put it on. Clearly. If they have built a giant bear trap, then I would be very impressed. Maybe they have. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they. Oh, actually, I think about it. This looks really great. Maybe they built a giant bear trap, which probably doesn't work then. But when I think about it, this actually looks really great. Maybe they just constructed a giant bear trap. That would surprise to think about it. This music video is so goddamn expensive. They clearly spent so much money on this music video. So maybe they actually built the bear trap, because you could of course just build it, right, and not actually make it be functional. You don't have to actually make it be that it kind of crashes in right when you like step on it. Well, I guess to be fair, if it actually was functional, their body weight would probably be too low for the size though to activate. But I'm gonna like nerd down this bear trap. How big do you need to be to actually activate a giant? Yeah, it's a giant bear trap. You also need to be a giant. This love. Yeah, but I love their outfits. This is so... Oh god, man, I'm getting like freaking... I love their outfits. And the thing is that I love every outfit, okay? I'm actually... Oh god. Like, I love their outfits. I love their shade shift all the time. I'm sorry for not sleeping here, but I just love how they're... You know, they're changing outfit, right? Every 10 seconds, I get a new awesome outfit. It's crazy, man. I feel so fabulous watching this, man. Yeah, it's awesome. Like, it's really, really awesome. Like, it's epic. Bum 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 bum. The best outfit comes soon now. Yeah, this is the best part though. From my outfit, I think from an outfit standpoint, I'm a sucker for these kind of, you know, like kind of bad girl, a little bit guy rules, biker chicks, whatever. Right? Talked about it yesterday in my other video with. The warning, right? They are fighting or they're playing so in a bar, and I grew up in like a biker club basically. My father's a biker and so on. See the resemblance, right? Typical. So I kind of like grew up in like he owns, well, he's owned basically like my local, like my hometown's local like biker place, right? So I grew up in that as a kid, meeting all these like men with full tattoos, driving Harley Davidson and so on, right? And also women, they kind of dress the, you know, scandally, so to speak. So I'm broken, but honestly, I think it's a big part of my life, because not just that I like these kind of visuals a lot, this is definitely my favorite outfit in this video, but also that I grew up later becoming like a behavior scientist and stuff like that, right? So I think it's really interesting to interview, you know, people that are kind of like, you know, subculture, side stuff. I think it's very interesting interviewing people that are really focused on one thing. I love people that are dedicated to one thing in life, and especially if something niche, right? I love it even more, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I love just talking to people like that. So I've done a lot of interviews, and I've written, you know, papers and studies about people, you know, and it's like... I read so many books about, you know, going to different people and travel. So I travel a lot for work, you know, and so, but whatever. But it's just like, yes, but yeah, this is to me is my favorite, right? Stuff here, yeah. But it's kind of like a biker chick, you know. Yeah, this is. But I mean it, yeah, it's my father's fault. But immediately, like, yeah, hot biker chicks. But honestly, for me, I'm like, yeah, biker babes. Yeah, this is awesome. Certainly. Wow, this looks so great, man. I like that shirt, yeah. It's like a reverse flame thing, something. Oh, yeah, it's like a car there. This looks amazing. But I really do like you know, South Korean fashion. They have a lot of this stuff, like modern South Korean fashion is awesome, man. This like leather jacket with all this stuff. But I also kind of like clothes that has a lot of unnecessary stuff on them. You know what I mean? You would never wear this stuff, right? If you went out, I'm going to the office, right? I would. You know, I sit here in my Haori, right? I have this at work too. I have other ones, of course. This one is my dragon Haori. I have an oldboy Sakura Blossom as well. And my favorite I have at work is one that is a black and white dragon style. So the one side is like the left side is white, the other one is black, and then on the back there are two dragons, right? And they're creating like the yin yang symbol. I love the outfit, so I have it at work. So what I do at work is that I walk around it all the time, like genuinely, absolutely. But if I have like a serious meeting, then I have to, you know, then I put on the suit, you know. So it's like my casual wardrobe for work is my like yin yang dragon style, right? And then it's like, but I joke about it honestly at work all the time. I look like I'm part of the Yakuza at work. I walk around like I am part of some like you know, criminal underground. Honestly, I'm kidding. Of course I'm okay. I'm crazy. Anyway, so I love this. Like, yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, all this that's cool too, man. But immediately you see how the changing eyes of the eye is really well done. It's changing immediately again there. Come back to it. Yeah. But this is one of the few times actually in the video where they go back and forth between two different scenes. Nerd. Oh, this is a great frame. This is a great frame. They're just standing together in a line there. Yeah, this is a great frame, man. I love it. Their outfits, man. The clothing. Oh, that's like a... Oh, yeah, that's like a... I see it now. Her neck creates like yeah, like a half moon there. Oh, yeah. So much details, man. And you can see her nails too are different colors, right? Yeah, this is really well done there. Because you got like one teal, one like barky blue, kind of like a rainbow. So each nails are different. Yeah, that's really awesome. So every nail has one different color. But they still have like a theme though, right? They all have like a bluish azure theme to it. Also fitting for her clothing and her like dress, pants and so on. So it is just like a random, right? It's very like well thought about how these nails are supposed to be, right? It's very detailed there. So that's interesting. Here goes the last part. We're gonna dancing with, yeah, so new outfits again. Of course, from the love, feel this love, feel this love. So it has the same organ it had in the beginning. Maybe it is, but I think about it now when I see it again here. The stars in the opening here, right? Yeah, with the first opening scene. I guess that's the same building, right? So now we're going like full circle. Has to be, right? It looks that at least. Cool, yeah, I think so. So this is just standing further away from it, right? Like here, they're standing next to it, like in front of it, right? Probably. And it's taped closer to it, right? Yeah, closer to it. This from here, it's it's closer to it there, right? And then when you go out a bit, you get this kind of frame, right? Probably. That makes sense to me at least. But it's a nice touch to it too, right? They're coming back to the full circle. So we get that from the angle as well. So that's really nice. But yeah, that's the visual review, guys. No, I'm gonna sit here for like 3 hours every time I do this. No, but I probably even missed something. Yeah, leave a comment below that I missed something. I probably did, right? There's so much thing happening in every scene. They're changing outfits in like 10 seconds for every frame. It's crazy. It's really addictive in that sense. You just keep watching. You keep saying, you can watch this music video over and over again, and always find something new, right? So that's just spectacular. Just keep watching it over and over again. I think that's just it's spectacular, right? It's just I can't barely speak. But it's really awesome. Like it's really awesome. I really enjoy that. Now, from a musical standpoint, like the chorus, it's catchy. You're stuck into it, right? Go back. We can watch it here instead. Yeah. No love. So you get that kind of catchy, interesting part of it, right? Like I said earlier, surprised how much English is in it. But I think that's how it works, right? And how do I say it? It's probably here somewhere. I think at this part where I was a little bit. It starts more in Korean, right? And then you get this part of the here is. Yeah, I'm probably a little bit surprised that they kept singing so much English here. But I guess from a lyric standpoint, it is a good transitioning, because we're going from like Korean in the beginning, then we have the English main chorus, the main part of the song, right? And then after that we have more English, so it definitely flows good, because it kind of started and then we changed into that, right? So you definitely can see how like a language swap is happening there. So it's a good part of it from a musical standpoint, definitely. Certainly. This scene is probably the best one, I think, from a thematic standpoint when they're singing. Yeah, with the lyrics here, right, and the music part, this is probably the best thematic part. This one, love, kill this love, do dan 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 dan. Just kill this love, dan dan dan. Yeah, I think this part is the best part from the whole team, right? Of the lyrics, kill this love, dance moves, the bear trap. Yeah, I think this part wins. This part definitely wins, I think, from the both musical performance, the teams, and I think also that in the sense that, like with most songs, right? This is also when you've heard the main part now a few times, so you're getting it here. You hit with these really cool visuals. You get in the Kill This Love, it's fitting with the lyrics. So this was definitely, I think, the highlight of the the first time I saw the video. It was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, this definitely was everything kind of came together. Yeah, everything. This very culminated, where everything kind of come together, right? The power of culmination happened at this frame, I would say, or maybe not this frame, but maybe more like where is it? Here probably, yeah, here probably. There, this frame, yes. That is like bam, yeah. That was the best part, right? But I think there's like a build up for it too as well, right? You know, like if it started with this thing, it wouldn't be as good, right? You kind of have to work your way there. So it's incredibly well done, like the whole thing, right? You know, not just the actual like visuals and the clothing or whatever, but the storytelling, right? It gets more darker and so on too, and it's, you know, so it's yeah, and then of course it ends with also backup dances, right? Which also a good fit to it. I think that was also better from a musical standpoint. Can I come in late? So yeah, it's like incredible, well directed as well, right? Just really, really awesome. But anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe, press the like button. Right, of course, I will do more stuff if you like it. If I get 1 view, I probably never. No. But I mean, as I mentioned earlier, right? I felt a little nervous. I felt a little anxiety. I didn't want to make a bad video for my first K-pop review, right? Reaction, I call it. So I hope I did it justice, so to speak. No, but honestly, because as I mentioned earlier, it felt it does feel kind of weird how I have never really got into, like I said, K-pop, K-rock, whatever, like Korean music, even though I have, you know, been training with Korean martial art and been in Korea, and like I said earlier, a big part of me, like, growing up, and especially my first job and so on, right, was of course Starcraft. So whatever, if you're still here in the video, I'll give you a brief explanation. So I grew up playing a lot of Starcraft, right? And this is of course in the 90s, early 2000s. So I watched a lot of, you know, like actual Korean TV, right, for second one. And my best friend, he's fluent in Korean. He's an amazing language savant, okay? The guy is fluent in both Mandarin, Korean, and Japanese. And he can read it too. He's like crazy good. And he's all self-taught, okay? He just wanted to learn Korean so he can watch Starcraft. Like, it gets crazy. And he can speak, like, you know, 10 old languages at least. So he's an incredible good language guy, right? So we started watching all this, like I said, Starcraft games, so on, right? Even more so than Starcraft 2. And he would like translate, and he could read it and all this stuff, right? And then of course we played a lot of League and so forth, right? But anyway, so I got really into Starcraft 2. I was like top 10 in Europe on ladder and stuff, right? And I also started doing a lot of maps, right? So I was really into Starcraft 2, and my dream job since a kid when I played Starcraft 1 was to work at Blizzard, right? So I got my first job then at Blizzard after university. One thing I had done then was that I had done a lot of maps and all this stuff. So I was very active, you know, generally with like Korea, Starcraft community. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of friends that lived in Korea, right, who play Starcraft and so on. I'm friends with some of the best like players in the world, and you know, I have to admit we don't talk too much more now, I suppose. This is like over 10 years ago, yeah. I'm an old man, right? This is like 2010, 11, so this is like, over 15 years. God, I shouldn't say that. Oh God, I'm so old, yeah. This is like 15 years ago now, thinking about it. It does feel like another lifetime, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I got really ingrained into that from like a gaming, you know, standpoint, right, so to speak. But also, as I mentioned, you know, I've been doing martial art, right, my whole life, and the two martial art I started with, first and foremost, was Taekwondo, and of course Judo. So I competed in Taekwondo for many years. I won a lot of stuff. I was like the best fighter in my year, blah, 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 fun stuff, right? Got a lot of, you know, high belts and so on. So that was a big thing. And as an overall side note here of my life, right, I think a lot of people think that, oh, look at this guy, he likes manhwa and manga and all that fun stuff, right? And he has all these, like, you know, weapons and poses and whatever. And I think that I perhaps I think a lot of people have this weird prejudgment. They see that you like I said, manhwas or whatever, and they think that, oh, this guy is like a solo leveling fan. He has to be like, this or whatever. He has to come in from that angle, right, of like a nerdy guy or whatever. But that's not true at all. I got into East Asian culture from martial arts, right? I grew up, I'm old enough that all this stuff, gaming too, wasn't big as a kid, right? Barely existed, right? So I got into it from like Taekwondo, right? From Taekwondo, from Judo as well. That's how I got into East Asian culture stuff, right? From martial arts, right? And then I started to read like manga and so on. After I had done like Taekwondo and Judo for like 3-4 years or whatever, like 4 5 years, then I started reading that, because that was my thing. It didn't exist when I was a kid, right? Like the first manga was out when I was like 16 or whatever, 17, that kind of age, maybe a little younger, but something One Piece, I was 15, something like that, yeah. So that's like, so for me, yeah, like it feels kind of weird sitting here being like, man, I got really ingrained into Korean stuff, mostly from Taekwondo and Starcraft, right? Being there, my best friend speaking, we used to listen to all this Korean stuff. And like I said earlier, with Good Boy and so on, right, I've seen a lot of Korean horror movies, especially. They're really great. I watched a lot of Korean stuff over the years, a lot of Korean TV shows, right? Of course, I've seen like what's called the Revenge Trio, right? With talk about Boy, like Oldboy and so on, which is actually a manga, I think, first and foremost. Lady Revenge and that stuff, right? The Departed, I guess. So I got into all this stuff. I've seen like all. I wouldn't say all. That's probably wrong, but I've seen like most of the popular famous Korean movies, right? Parasite, of course, like that's one of the best. Parasite is one of the best movies ever made. It's an incredible movie. I've probably seen Parasite like 10 times. It's like one of my all-time favorite movies, right? I mean, obviously it's one of the best movies ever. So it did feel kind of strange now, being like, you know what? Yeah, okay. So that's the thing, because people have asked me for a while, right? For like years, kind of almost like, oh, you should probably do Korean Kpop. A lot of fans or whatever. You should do it, get some subs, right? But I'm always feeling anxiety. I'm like, oh no, but I got so much, overall, a lot of overall like Korean culture in my head or whatever. I just haven't done their music for some whatever reason, right? I think a little bit of my age though, right? I think Kpop exploded kinda when I was not too old to enjoy it, but you know what I mean. It exploded like after, like I said, like K-pop became popular after I was in Korea. You know what I mean? Like I went to Korea because of martial art, right? And also with Starcraft. I didn't go to Korea for the food or no. I mean, like I went there, and it was like 5-6 years after the first time I was in South Korea when the music started getting popular on whatever social media and so on. So I think that's a big reason too, because it just feels like, yeah, he gets my age from that, right? But interesting. But one thing that, as I expected, yeah, the music video, first and foremost, this video is truly like a graphical masterpiece, right? It's so interesting to watch. And like I said earlier in the video, I really like Celebrate. That's like my favorite game that year. And I love the music, but I also like the visuals, right? The whole Eve looks, the colors, the backstories, like all the cities. So I'm really into it. And I think about it, my favorite game last year. And this sounds like I'm the biggest Korean fan ever now, but honestly, I think about it. One of my favorite game last year, if not my favorite game here, is Kazan First Berserker. That had the best gameplay, like straight up. I think Kazan is a fantastic game, and it's made then of course by a Korean studio. If you didn't know it, Kazan is an incredible game. I think it got so much shafted, right? But the game I also won last, I think it was I thought very disappointing, because it was, in my opinion, should have won a game of the year, right? And it was bad thought about, but it was like the uber best Sosa game. I really love Kazan, and currently I'm playing Neo 3 right now, right? It's a bit about last again, so I do like those kind of games, though, obviously, like Neo and Kazan as well. Kazan is very similar to Neo 1 and 2, right? So but that's like my favorite game last year. That's crazy good. That's kind of weird. That's why this whole thing feels so weird, honestly. Because I'm like, my god, like it feels like I have been touched by all the other Korean culture stuff, right? Except just the music. especially visually then, right? But anyway, guys, I absolutely, genuinely hope you like the video. I will have to do more of this stuff, right? And I will probably overall do this similar thing where I will talk mostly about the visuals, right? Not because I don't get the music or whatever, but it just feels like my brain immediately goes to, like for example earlier, right, with the reflecting pool, right? My brain immediately is like, how was this done? You know what I mean? That's how I think. That's how my brain works. My brain isn't like, oh, how is her voice acting? How is her singing? Honestly, my brain is like, interesting. How is this reflecting done? Is that a pool, perhaps? Have you done lighting thing? Is it like water on a surface area, like a piano? I don't think so. I think it's a pool. Blah blah. That's how my brain goes. Because I worked myself directing trailers and so on, right? So I'm thinking like, how would I make this thing happen? How does it happen? How does it work, right? How do I get this thing to work out? Is it one light source? There's probably more than one light source than here, and I don't know. So I get all into it like that, right? Definitely. But anyway, guys, see you guys and have a great day.